Okay guys, here we go. Another video for you, this time on the areas of parallelograms and trapezoids. So again, if you want to copy down the vocabulary here in your note packet, you can pause it and do that. Basically, what we're after today is to use two formulas. This is the first one. This is for a parallelogram, and this one is for a trapezoid. Okay, I'll put that right over here. So you got to keep these in mind when you do these problems. Most of these are, what we call those plug and chug problems. You plug in everything that you know, and then you solve for the thing that you don't know. Of course, B over here stands for the base, and H stands for the height. Same thing down here with the trapezoid. H is the height, and we have B sub 1 and B sub 2 because in a trapezoid you have two bases. The two parallel sides are the two bases. All right, and notice they're being added, not multiplied. Okay, so we're going to jump right into example 1 here. I've got it down here at the bottom. The base of a parallelogram is 8 yards. So I'm going to squeeze it right in down here. Usually parallelograms look like that. And so I'm going to just put an 8 down there, and the height is 3 times the base, so that's pretty easy. I'm going to draw in a height that's not really part of the parallelogram, so I'm going to put it in dashed lines. So 3 times the base is 24. Okay, and I want to find the area of this, so I'm going to start with the area of a parallelogram equation. And like I said, I'm just going to plug in what I know. I know the base is 8, and I know the height is 24. So I'm going to plug them right in there and just do the math over here. So 8 times 24, let's see, that's going to be a 192. And let's make sure that we include the units. We've said all along that if you have an area, your units is always squared. So I'm going to put down yards squared. All right. So very simple. For example 1 there, I think most people could have done that if I gave you the formula, and maybe I didn't even have to give you the formula, but most people could have done that already. So we're going to jump right over to example 2. Turn that one on here. All right, this is on your next page. The diagram shows one of the trapezoids in a floor design, and we want to find the area of that. Okay, so as I was saying before, these are your two, fix that, these are your two bases right here. Notice those are the two parallel sides. Okay, a lot of people think this is the only thing a trapezoid can look like. You can also have a trapezoid look like this. All right, and a lot of times they'll put a little right angle down there. Same thing in this case, those would be your two bases. Okay, and since this is a right triangle, or a right angle, I should say, that would be your height. Okay, so sometimes they do look like that. Most of the time you're going to run across them, they look like that. So again, a plug and chug problem. If you didn't have the formula written down from the other page, well, it's just like that, and I just plug in everything that they give me. All right, the half never changes. The height right here is 3, so I'm going to put that in right there. And my two bases are 5 and 11, so I plug in 5 and 11 there. Alrighty, and then again, I just got to do the math. So my order of operations tells me to do my parentheses first, so I take the 5 and I add the 11, and I get 16. I could do the 1/2 times the 3, but in my mind I'm thinking, well, that's not going to come out very nice. So I'm going to leave that alone for a minute, and I'm going to come over here and do this multiplication here first. All right, you can do that. So 3 times 16 is 48. Oh, that's pretty bad. 4 right there. Let's take that out of there. All righty, and we're going to make that a nice looking 4. Much better. All right, so what do we got? 1/2 times 48. Yeah, that works out really nice. And again, make sure you get the units in there. This is in inches, and we have an area, so it's always inches squared. Okay, so those two pretty straightforward. Shouldn't have a too tough time with that. Um, let's flip over to the checkpoint. You have 4 of them, so I'm going to put the answers up here. So you want to pause it right now, try the checkpoint, and then when you get it all done, then you can check your answers. So here we go. Okay, so for some reason, we turned our background white. So here's your answers for the checkpoint problems. And I've got the math written out here, but the answers down here in red is what you're really after. Notice it's got the units on there and everything. Everything is squared. So if you didn't get one of these, just go back and check it. I'm sure it's just like a little mathematical error because these are pretty straightforward. So we're going to jump over to example 3. Turn that one off. Go up to here to that one. Okay, and I got to move things up a little bit. All right, there we go. There's example 3. So the height of a trapezoid is 8 feet. One of its bases is 12 feet. So I'm going to draw myself a picture, and I'm just going to make it a normal looking trapezoid, kind of like what we're used to here. And the height, which is right in here, I'm going to put it right on this side, that's going to be 8. And one of the bases is 12. It doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to make it this one. I don't know how it's going to work out. It could have been the longer one, but for the sake of figuring it out, it really doesn't matter. So if it is, I'll switch it later. But this is different because they give me the area. Alrighty, but still, I'm going to use the same formula here. And if it was a parallelogram, I'd be starting with the other formula. So it's trapezoid, I'm starting with this one, and I'm going to plug in everything that they give me. So the height is 8, that goes right in here. This 1/2, that never changes, okay? And let's see, we have base 1 and base 2. They give me one of them, so I'm just going to plug it in for that, and I don't know what that other base is. And they gave me the area was 108, so I'm going to put that in for A. So as long as I can get an equation with only one thing that I don't know, and that's right here, then I can solve it just using regular old algebra. Okay. In the future, you'll have equations with 2 unknowns, and you need some more information than that. You need 2 equations actually, but yeah, don't worry about that right now. So if you want me to, I'll write in these little parentheses here. Just to make sure that's all being multiplied. Okay, so now we have to solve for B. All right, so the one thing you want to do is you want to do the math as much as you can. You want to simplify things on the same side as much as you can before we start doing algebra. So I can take this 1/2 and multiply by 8. That's going to work out nice. So that gives me a 4. All right, and everything else just comes straight down. All right, and I want to get rid of this 12, and I want to get rid of this 4. Well, since this 4 is being multiplied by this whole thing, that's what these parentheses tell me. I'm multiplying by the whole thing. Well, then I can divide by 4 here. And if I do it to one side, I do it the other. And since it's multiplying by the whole thing, well, they simply cancel. All right, and I get 12 plus b sub 2, and 108 divided by 4. What is that? Let's see, 108 divided by 4, and let's see, that goes in twice. 28. Oh, isn't that nice? Comes out real nice. 27. Okay, so I'm down to this. I just got to move that 12 out of there, so I'm going to take away 12 on both sides, and that goes away. My b sub 2 comes down here. 27 minus 12 is 15. Okay, so turns out that I labeled it right. That was just dumb luck, really. So this is a 15 right there. Now, they do give me some units here. So this is square feet on the area, which makes sense because if it's an area, it's always something squared or square feet. So this is just a distance. All right, so this is just feet. It's not feet squared because it's not an area. All right, so that is just feet. All right. So the idea right here is the two equations. You have to know them and plug in what we give you and just solve for the thing that we don't. And the work that we do in class will be lots of variations on this using the parallelogram, using the trapezoid, and using those two formulas. So hopefully that is pretty good, and you're following that. So if you need to, watch it again. If not, we'll see you tomorrow.